In this video, we'll show you some of the preferences that you might want to change while starting off here in Canvas. So from your dashboard, go to your account settings in the global navigation. Go to Profile or Settings. They both take you to the same spot. And from here, if you click on the image or the picture or whatever you have right there, if you click on that little pencil, you can then upload a different picture, change that picture in any way you'd like. But to edit this information, you need to actually click on Edit Settings, this button over here. When you do that, it makes this available. I don't recommend changing your name. If you don't like how it's spelled here, let an administrator know and we'll fix that. I highly suggest changing your display name. Just depends. I didn't like students calling me by my first name. I like them calling me Mr. Higgins, so I would change that display name so that anytime I interact with students on Canvas, it would say Mr. Higgins. And then change your time zone or whatever, and then click Update Settings. I'm not going to save those right now, so I'm going to hit Cancel. You can also add ways to contact you. You can add as many email addresses as you'd like. You can also add, if you click on that, you can add a cell number, your carrier, so that you can get text messages on your phone, or like I said, emails. Scrolling down, I highly recommend for any of our teachers in our district to synchronize your Canvas account with your Google Drive account. And so you do that by clicking on Google Drive, authorize Google Drive access, choose the account, there's my school account, and allow. It may have you sign in. If you're not signed in already, you may have to put in your username and password, but once it's registered, you'll see it in this column right here. If ever you don't want it registered, simply click on the X when you hover over that item. One other thing that I think we need to go to is notifications. Now, I'm not going to go through every one of these. That would be exhausting. But I will show you what mine are. These are the settings that I like. To put it simply, Canvas likes to notify you of everything. If a student makes a comment on something, if they do any little thing, Canvas wants to notify you right away. So here's how I've set mine, and you can go down through these one by one if you'd like, and as you hover your mouse over, it will show you exactly what that's talking about. Push notification for all devices, I just have that turned on all the way down. But to go to my email, I don't want an update, I don't want a new email for every single assignment that comes in. For a lot of them, for example, all submissions, when a student submits an assignment, I just want to know a daily summary. Okay, now if that's not enough for you, you can notify yourself right away. You can also, if that's too much, send a weekly summary or turn it off altogether. So these are my settings. I'll slowly scroll down so you can see which ones go where. I like knowing if I've been invited to something or a submission comment. For example, on this one, if a student has turned in an assignment and they put a comment on there, maybe they had a problem or they didn't understand their assignment, I like to know right away if there's a comment on their submission. I don't want to know about every discussion post, just daily summary is fine. If I've been added to a conversation, now remember, conversation is Canvas's name for email, I want to know right away if there's a new message, but conversations created by me, I don't need to know any of those. If I'm, for example, up here, I've turned all of these off because if I change a due date, I don't want to know when I change the due date because I did it. If you work with scheduling, you may want to set them up this way. An alert, for example, an administrative notification, I like to be notified right away just in case. And if there's somebody waiting for a conference, I like to know. But those are the notifications that I set so that I can know what's going on. One last thing I want to show you in these preferences is the student view. So if you go to your dashboard and you're in a course, we'll say this one. If you ever want to see what the student will see, because the student won't have these options in the sidebar, they'll be different. Go to Settings. And again, if you don't see that menu bar, it's just that little 3-line thing. So Settings, and then right over here to Student View. And when you click on that, this is what the student would see. It puts you in place of a test student. So you can always go through and see what your course would look like for your students. This is exactly what they would see. You can even submit assignments as a test student, reset the student, or whatever you want, just to play around and see how your course looks. Let's go ahead and leave the student view down here. And you're back into your teacher side, so you can edit your course as you'd like.